Kawaki watched Naruto's last thread of chakra fade away in his hands. But how did Konoha's protector allow such destruction? The truth began earlier. In the cold silence of the night, something pulsed within him. Isshiki's karma wasn't just power. It was a memory, a parasitic consuming him. Every beat brought a merciless echo. He broke into a cold sweat. Naruto was everything. Naruto was the light, the family he never had, the chance at a normal life. Losing Naruto meant returning to hell, and Kawaki couldn't allow that. The problem was Boruto. Not the Boruto he knew, but the shell, Momoshiki's vessel. Kawaki saw his friend as a ticking time bomb, ready to detonate and drag Naruto down with him. An imminent threat that needed to be neutralized at any cost, and the cost would be high. Isshiki's voice, almost a whisper in his mind, mocked his hesitation. Eliminate the threat, my heir. Protect what is yours. The darkness of the karma wasn't just power. It was suggestion, a poison that altered perception. Kawaki felt the pressure mounting, becoming unbearable. He clenched his fists. Protecting Naruto was his only compass. No matter who or what stood in the way, the Hokage would be saved. This determination was the only thing keeping him on his feet, but it was also pushing him toward a precipice. Then, a brutal idea began to form, not as a whisper from Isshiki, but as a cold, twisted logic from Kawaki's own mind. What if the only way to isolate Naruto from all danger was to isolate the danger itself? A desperate plan, a point of no return. The weight of such a decision was overwhelming. He'd have to give up everything, perhaps even his own existence, to ensure Naruto's safety. The sacrifice would be immense, the price far too high. But the alternative, losing Naruto, was unthinkable. This internal tension was about to explode, transforming Konoha's quietude into a scene of unprecedented war. The future of Naruto and the ninja world depended on the choice of a young man carrying a god's curse, and the consequences would be devastating. Dawn broke, and Kawaki opened his eyes with a chilling determination. He knew exactly what he would do now. There was nothing that would stop him from protecting Naruto. His next step would seal everyone's fate, for better or for worse. Cosmic darkness swallowed Ida, and chakra simply vanished. How could an entity, a nothingness, annul the omnipotence of the Shinju? Despair spread. Kawaki's plan was already in motion. He acted in the dead of night. The dimensional barrier was his key. His intention was clear and brutal. Isolate Boruto, and if necessary, Naruto himself, in another dimension, where they would be safe from Momoshiki and external threats. It was a drastic measure, but the only one he saw to ensure peace. He was about to execute the final step, to open the rift that would seal everyone's fate. The price would be Naruto's own solitude, but it would be his safe solitude, far from any danger. But then, something went terribly wrong. The space around Isshiki's dimension trembled, not with Kawaki's chakra, but with an alien and ancestral energy. A rift opened where it shouldn't have, a scar on the fabric of reality. From this rift emerged a form, not of flesh or chakra, but of pure darkness, a void that reverberated like a silent roar. It was the Star Eater, a being from a forgotten age, drawn by the dimensional distortion. Its ethereal body absorbed everything. Chakra, natural energy, even information distorted around it. Reality unraveled at its touch, and panic froze Konoha even before anyone understood what was happening. Ida felt it first. Her omniscience blurred, her omnipotence. Nothing. The Star Eater didn't operate on levels of chakra or time. It consumed the very essence of existence, and Ida was useless against it. Kawaki watched the scene unfold, his determination frozen. His powers, Ishiki's mark that he used so much to protect, seemed childish. He could mold space, but not the void. His strategy disintegrated into ashes. The Star Eater advanced, and each step was annihilation. Kawaki felt a terror he had never experienced, a profound despair, because he realized that everything he had planned was for nothing, and that for the first time, he had no way to protect Naruto. Boruto fell, and Kawaki knew. The price of victory would be existence itself. How did the eternal rivals unite forces only to witness the yendi of all reality? Terror froze Kawaki, watching the overwhelming void advance relentlessly. His powers, once his greatest weapon, were useless, an empty joke against it. Suddenly, a purple streak cut through the air, an explosion of chakra against the annihilation. Boruto appeared, his eyes blazing with the fury of Momoshiki's karma. There was no time for old quarrels now. The Star Eater was the only real threat. Kawaki felt the strange alliance forming, a brutal need for survival against the gaping abyss. They acted. Boruto's karma flared, pure chakra, shurikens, trying to pierce the void. Kawaki used his dimensional rods, seeking points of attraction, of attachment. They attacked with everything they had, in a symphony of despair and power. But the Star Eater absorbed everything, every blow, every intention. Reality around them trembled, Konoha turning to stardust with each passing second. Only Boruto's purple aura and Kawaki's black remained. But how long could they hold on? Then, a horrifying truth struck Kawaki, cold as the vacuum of deep space. He saw the Star Eater's strategy, not to kill, but to drain, to empty existence itself. It wasn't an enemy of flesh. It was the hunger that consumed the universe. He realized Momoshiki, Isshiki, Ida, all the Otsutsukis were tiny compared to this. Their powers were mere crumbs against a cosmic predator. The only way to stop it wasn't to attack, but to deprive it of what it consumed. And the greatest reservoir of existence, of chakra, of life there at that exact moment, was the ninja world itself. It was Naruto. The weight of this realization crushed Kawaki, because the only solution involved the annihilation of everything. An insane plan began to unfold in his mind, something that would require the radical removal of a universal plague. It was the idea of giving up every particle of his own existence to close the rift, to isolate the void forever. His gaze fixed on the Star Eater, and the decision was irrevocable. He would do it. Kawaki knew the price. Isshiki's karma mark shone, no longer to attack, but for an even greater and more terrifying purpose. The Star Eater was about to feel the meaning of a cosmic sacrifice. Sacrifice would be the only answer, and Kawaki advanced without hesitation. He stared at the Star Eater. But how could a human, even with karma, absorb the void that devoured existence itself? This was pure madness. Kawaki gritted his teeth. His karma blazed with brutal intensity, pulsating through every fiber of his being, and Boruto cried out his name. But it was already too late. There was no stopping now. He reached out, and the Star Eater seemed to recoil for an instant, as if sensing the affront. Ishiki's karma now was no longer just power. It was a magnet for destruction, an anchor for the abyss. A tearing pain, as if space-time itself was being ripped apart inside him, invaded Kawaki. Ishiki's will tried to assert itself, wanting to survive, but Kawaki crushed every whisper. He saw Naruto. Light and shadow danced around Kawaki, a horrific fusion of the Star Eater's darkness and the cosmic power of karma. Konoha trembled. Reality bent, distorted and terrifying, almost unraveling. Boruto felt the shift, a chill down his spine, a raw and crude truth that hit him full force. Kawaki wasn't attacking. He was becoming the vessel, a living seal for a formless evil. The cosmic entity writhed, shrinking, being sucked into Kawaki's body. Every fiber of him screamed in agony. He was exploding from within, but his determination was an unyielding shield. Kawaki's eyes fixed on a void. He gathered his last reserves of strength, the essence of the final sacrifice. A scream of pure determination and sacrifice ripped through the air. It echoed through the void he was about to seal. A gigantic explosion of light and darkness tore through the skies, and the rift in space-time began to close, pulling the Star Eater into an abyss of no return. Everything was sealing away. Silence fell heavy over what remained of Konoha, but Kawaki, he had simply vanished. The silence was deafening. Konoha stood, but what remained was a desert of fear and stardust. You wondered, what was Kawaki? The explosion sealed the rift, but was the price his very existence? Suddenly, the air ripped open, not into a rift but pure distortion. A form rose from nothingness, an ethereal body that pulsed with the darkness of the Star Eater, yet with Kawaki's familiar eyes. It was him, and it wasn't. He had been reborn, not as the ninja you knew, but as a new entity, fused with cosmic annihilation, an omnipotent being. Boruto felt a chill in his soul. This wasn't a traditional enemy, not an Otsutsuki. It was Kawaki, but transformed into a ruthless deity of destruction. The perfect, yet terrible, guardian. Kawaki's new form raised its hand, and what remained of the landscape disintegrated into pure energy. He didn't need karma. He was the force, the void, the sacrifice that became something inconceivable. Boruto saw the pain in his eyes, but also a cold acceptance. Kawaki had become the very limit of a universe, the living seal against any threat, no matter the cost to his humanity. His voice resonated without sound, directly into Boruto's mind. Naruto is safe now. The entire universe is safe. I am the price. I am peace. A twisted but irrefutable logic. The weight of this new reality crushed Boruto. Victory over the Star Eater came, but it transformed the Protector into a guardian who could, at any moment, annihilate everything to maintain balance. The future opened, dark and uncertain. The ninja world had been saved, but now lived under the shadow of an omnipotent Kawaki, a deity fused with the end, and Boruto knew that the true challenge was only just beginning. Drop a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next theories and analyses on what this unimaginable sacrifice means for the Boruto universe. Comment what you thought of this epic twist.